USA has been the history of ethnic cleansing, imposition of power, slavery, mass exploitation and the worship of wealth. The U.S. president, generally accepted as the most powerful man in the world, is a slave to his prime allegiance, the Brotherhood. Even he is probably not a top-level member, as it is wiser to hide behind the tools of corruption in anonymity and to pull the strings in this way. I do not seek to condemn these people for their beliefs. Everyone should be free to develop their own belief system, but I feel that they are seriously misguided in the ways they seek to impose them on the majority and conceal the truth. They have allowed themselves to become slaves to and also the major implementers. The Luciferic consciousness which has taken this planet to the brink of destruction. Presenting the information concisely is a difficult operation due to the complexity of the interconnections between people, organizations and events. I have attempted to simplify the situation into a manageable amount, but it remains merely the tip of the iceberg. It should be remembered also that nothing is black and white, no one is good or evil. Such simple distinctions are part of the manipulation which encourages us to judge our neighbors in order to create conflict. Part 1. The main manipulating groups. Freemasonry. The basic recruitment of members to further the elite's plans is through the secret society network of Freemasonry, which is the latest incarnation of the Christian military order known as the Knights Templars, who gained staggering riches and a wealth of esoteric knowledge during the Crusades, in which the righteous Christians were dispatched to the Holy Land with free rein to slaughter the Jews and Muslims in a series of campaigns between the 11th and 13th centuries. The vast majority of members are on the first three rungs of the 33-level hierarchy and have no idea of the hidden agenda. Once initiated into the lowest level, the first of 33 degrees, vows are taken to pledge allegiance to the society above all else. Most initiates are willing to do this as the temptation of power, wealth and knowledge is hard to refuse. It is hinted that there are penalties to pay for betraying their society and revealing its secrets, but at this level the organization is viewed by its members as little more than a secretive social club with immorality based upon chivalry. Certain of what appear to be esoteric secrets are revealed to them upon initiation as a taster for what is to come, as long as the initiate remains faithful to the order. Money is then paid by the initiate in order to progress to the second degree through a ceremony involving the revelation of yet further secret knowledge with the promise of more to come at each stage. Initiation into higher degrees requires increasingly larger sums of money, and still the clues keep coming. Promises of wonderful arcane knowledge are continual, yet the actual knowledge revealed remains encoded and only serves to whet the appetite. No one is ever given the full scenario, only pieces of what appears to be a picture of the most awesome significance. As more and more is revealed and the higher up the ladder the initiate is allowed, the greater are the personal perks provided and doorways opened in terms of career and social status. Moreover, the warnings against transgression of the secret society's rules become blatant and more sinister at each step. It is impossible to achieve high levels of initiation within Freemasonry unless one is handpicked by those of the higher degrees. In order to do this, one must meet their criteria of wealth, status, social class and character type. By the time the 20th degree is reached, a minimum of professional level income is required to fund progression through the system. The result of this financially dependent progression is that the top-level members of the Brotherhood elite are among the richest and most powerfully influential people in the world. They are also responsible, directly and indirectly, for most of the money, power-based crimes such as the illegal drugs industry, political assassinations, Satanism and mind control which goes on every day, all around the world. At the apex of the pyramid of the Brotherhood are the select few who actually know the full agenda of the organization. These privileged elite have become known as the Illuminati, which is Latin for illuminated ones. All other members, nearly 5 million worldwide, are ignorant of the true purpose of their individual organization as a front for the Illuminati. Only the most suitable are selected to rise in the ranks, those recognized as being wealthy, ambitious and corrupt enough to perpetuate the ultimate goal, which is world domination. No one but the Illuminati actually knows anything of importance and therefore cannot betray the game plan. Everyone else provides a front, a smoke screen of ignorance and misinformation, and all must offer complete obedience to the will of their organization or be banished, or worse. The same thing also happens in our universities, whereby particularly talented scholars are approached with magnificent offers of wealth and status in order to follow unofficial secret research programs into such topics as UFOs, psychic warfare and advanced energy sources. Betrayal of the Brotherhood is the worst crime possible in the eyes of its members and is ultimately punishable by death. The Brotherhood is all-powerful. All top-level members of the police and military forces around the world are placed there through the Brotherhood as Brotherhood tools. Judges and lawyers, media moguls, businessmen and politicians are recruited so that no member of the Brotherhood elite is ever in danger of being held accountable by the system for any crime or misdemeanor. The Brotherhood can, and quite literally does, get away with murder because it is also the law which opposes it. If a non-Brotherhood member should slip through the net and achieve high status, then there are ways to ensure that such people are unable to achieve their full potential. For example, I doubt if Prince Charles will ever fulfill his right of kingship, as he has publicly refused to enroll with the Freemasons. It infiltrates every area of our society at all levels, but at the top, in the highest social and monetary bracket, the Brotherhood prevails almost in total. It is the single largest vehicle for the perpetuation of the Luciferic consciousness on Earth. One of the ways by which the faithfulness of members is ensured, especially in the higher levels, is by the insistence that the initiated give details of their most intimate secrets to the organization, so that if any transgression of the rules were to occur, then this information would be revealed and used to publicly destroy the individual concerned. As an example of this, one Masonic branch, the Skull and Bone Society, centered around the Harvard and Yale universities, was founded on opium money, is blatantly racist, has some particularly bizarre rituals, including an initiation which includes lying in a coffin with a ribbon tied around the genitalia whilst masturbating and shouting out one's greatest sexual fantasies. It boasts amongst its members, who, remember, swear complete allegiance to the society above all other commitments, George Bush, Percy Rockefeller, Winston Lord, one-time CFR chairman, and 9 members of the board of the Morgan Guaranty Trust, see House of Rothschild. Also associated with Freemasonry within the elite's own hierarchy are other esoteric societies such as the Grand Orient Lodges, the Knights of Malta, the Knights Templar, P2 and the Black Nobility. The Brotherhood owns the law, they own the military, they own the oil companies, pharmaceutical companies, and just about everything which provides fuel for the status quo. It sets the standards for education, it sets the curriculum, it plants seeds via the media and education systems of what will later become, through tender nurturing, power-hungry, dissatisfied, spiritually unaware slaves to their system. If it was not so sinister, it would be purely perfect in its all-encompassing design. While the first 3-degree Masons and Round Table members are raising money for charity and enjoying relatively harmless social events, their superiors in the craft are organizing wars, drug-pushing, coordinating assassinations, mind control, raping and murdering young children in satanic abuse, and formulating plans for world domination. history has convinced me that it is possible to get away with virtually any crime as long as it is on a large enough scale. The U.S. presidents, also 33rd-degree Masons, are financed into the position not as leaders of men but as a tool of the Brotherhood. All allegiance comes secondary to the bonds within their secret society, on pain of death. Political systems are also a front for the Brotherhood elite. Not as representatives of the people, elected by the people, for the people, but as tools of and for the Brotherhood. Science is controlled to the benefit of the elite, wars are created and manipulated to the benefit of the elite. Every time a bomb is dropped or a tank built, ultimately it is the multinational businesses who profit, especially the oil industries and world bankers. All is Brotherhood controlled. The scale of the manipulation in all areas of the status quo is almost immeasurable and for this reason virtually unbelievable to most prisoners of the system. The Round Table. The Round Table was established in the 1891 as a Masonic-like secret society to manipulate events to lead to a centralized global government. The leading lights were Cecil Rhodes, whose wealth largely derived from the exploitation of South African diamond reserves, and Alfred Milner, a Rothschild agent who took over after the death of Rhodes. Financial backing also came from the Rockefellers. Groups were established throughout the world, working behind the scenes through a coordination of world banks in order to bring pressure on governments to promote the New World Order. As well as Milner, who effectively controlled Lloyd George's war cabinet during the Great War. Members in the first half of the century included Arthur Balfour, then Foreign Secretary, later Prime Minister and whose Balfour Declaration created the State of Israel, Lord Astor who owned the Times, and Nathan Rothschild, Governor of the Bank of England. After WW1, the Round Table was instrumental in the formation of the League of Nations, the forerunner of the elite-controlled United Nations. Rhodes' legacy includes a bequeath of funds for the financial sponsorship of selected overseas students who attend Oxford University to be sold the New World Order. These Rhodes scholars include Bill Clinton. The influence of the Round Table and that of the various groups it has spawned is prevalent today, although the majority of members will have no idea of what they are involved in. Royal Institute of International Affairs, RIA. One of the more public Round Table creations is the Royal Institute of International Affairs, which is based at Chatham House in London and was formed in 1920 by the Anglo-American delegations from the Treaty of Versailles meetings. Prominent in the British delegation was Alfred Milner. The RIA's patron is the Queen of England. Supposedly, the RIA is a think tank but in effect it determines British policy. And yet, its membership list is never divulged and it is shrouded in secrecy. Information that has been obtained reveals that its current joint presidents are Lord Carrington, former Foreign Secretary, Director General of NATO and close business partner of Henry Kissinger, Lord James Callaghan, former Foreign Secretary and Prime Minister, and Lord Roy Jenkins, former Chancellor of the Exchequer and President of the European Commission. Funding is derived from its corporate members, which is a vast list including government departments, petrochemical companies, who also fund its environment program, merchant and high street banks, newspapers, television stations, the Church of England, Amnesty International, etc. Council on Foreign Relations, CFR. In 1921, funded by the Rockefellers, the RIA founded its American wing, known as the Council on Foreign Relations. As its membership is marginally more public than its British counterpart, it is clearly seen that anyone who has had any influence on American or global politics ever since has been a member of the CFR. This includes 14 of the last 18 U.S. Secretaries of State, the previous 8 CIA directors, the majority of presidential and vice presidential candidates including Eisenhower, Nixon, Carter, Mondale, Ford, Nelson Rockefeller, Bush and Clinton. The Bilderberg Group, Bill. This